Fighting does not make you a hero.
What if I promise to be careful? Just a shield then.
Diana.
No sharp edges.
Be careful of mankind, Diana. They do not deserve you.
You've told me this story.
What is this place? Who are you people?
We are the bridge to a greater understanding.
Right.
What is your mission?
Well, here's the thing. You are in more danger than you think. The boys in the trenches called her Dr. Poison. Millions would die. The war would never end.
Hey guys, welcome back to Absolutely Understood. I'm Andrew Ramirez.
Marcus Nartatez.
And we are back to review the latest installment in the DCEU, Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins and starring the wonderful, talented Gal Gadot.
Wow, you worked on that.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot.
Gadot.
And Chris Pine, of course.
Of course, everybody's favorite. One of my newer favorites. One of my favorite guys in the last couple of years.
He's been around for a while, and
Yeah.
I think he's kind of really starting to...
I think he's coming into his own, you know? But this is a movie about Wonder Woman, not about Chris Pine. So let's get right into it. We got our positives, we got some negatives, but hopefully the positives will outweigh. Starting with Marcus, what did you like?
I thought it was a fun movie. I had a lot of problem with a lot of the DCEU, films before it. I either thought it was way too, dark. Not that dark is a bad thing, but it was just so it was almost void of fun for me.
Relentlessly dark.
Yeah, there was it wasn't fun to watch. Of course, I'm talking about Man of Steel and I almost said Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, Batman vs Superman. And then they had Suicide Squad, and that was kind of like you said several times before, like a movie made by MTV.
Yeah, literally, that movie was created for the MTV Movie Awards.
But so I thought this was a nice tone down of the darkness. Had some very light moments to it. It's very heavily. I feel as far as a comic book movie go, it's very heavy on the love aspect, which was a nice part to see. Now, was it a perfect movie? No, but the action was good, which is the first check mark should be in almost any movie, any comic book movie. So check mark there. The acting was good. I was unsure about Gal Gadot. I was unsure about her. I didn't see her in anything that really blew me away or would suggest that she would be a leading woman. I gotta say she killed it. She did a very, very good job.
Yeah, no, I was also very trepidatious about her carrying this whole movie on her shoulders. Like we've seen her a little bit in Fast and the Furious, and she wasn't really memorable there either. But this movie definitely, I think, combined with the direction, you know what I mean. Patty Jenkins put her in a position to succeed, and she killed when she needed to. You know what I mean? And there were certain scenes where she got very emotional and very passionate about certain things, and I think that is where her acting was the best, as opposed to, the quieter stuff. But I also think the chemistry between her and Chris Pine,
I forgot to talk about that.
Off the charts. I think that Chris Pine being that strong of an actor, being able to lean on him a little bit to carry like the comedic sense of the movie, because there is a lot of levity in a lot of the things that he does. So I think he did a good job, and I think their chemistry worked, and they were super cute together.
Super cute, adorable.
I shipped that for all the young people.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Relationship. When you like people together,
stop.
you ship them.
All right, this is the final episode of Absolutely Understood. Yes, no, it was great. There's great chemistry. The acting was good. I thought it was a strong film.
Yeah. I was also a big fan of the stuff on Themyscira. You get to see where she comes from. No spoilers, of course, but The other Amazonians, you know, they were very strong. Connie Nielsen and Robin Wright were stellar. It reminded me almost of like the opening scene in of when we see Krypton in Man of Steel. You know what I mean? Just a whole different world in this DCE universe, and it was different, but it was good. It was some of my favorite stuff in it. And like you said, the action, Gal Gadot, she is ex-Israeli military, so
is she really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, everyone in Israel needs
Yeah.
to be in the military, so that makes
So
sense.
you know she
Little
she
history,
definitely-
not history lesson, but
a little glimpse into the world.
some kind of lesson.
But yeah, she definitely pulled off the physicality of all her scenes, and she did that in Batman vs Superman. So I'm not really too surprised.
And there wasn't as many slide kicks as you thought there were going to be.
Yeah,
you were worried about that.
Actually, I think that's probably my biggest negative. Not enough slide kicks.
As of course we're joking. If you saw our trailer reaction, we were worried that was going to be.
Yeah, that was her one move, the slide kick.
They showed it every time. No, but happy to report that's not. She did. There were some really memorable scenes without spoiling it.
Also, what you see from the Lasso of Truth in the trailers lives up to it. Very cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's so truth. I didn't understand what you said for a second. Yeah. She had all the Wonder Woman things.
Yeah.
You know, she hit all. I think she hit all the check marks. Patty Mills. Jenkins. Patty Mills. All right. Patty Jenkins. She hit all the check marks in what should be in this movie. Okay, let's talk about the negatives.
All right, yeah. I mean, as in no movie is without sin. That's stolen from Cinema Sins. You know, one of my biggest negatives is probably the framing device that they used to go back in time to tell her story. I thought it was kind of like, you know what I mean?
The first act.
Yeah, no. Like the first scene, you know, when with the way we get introduced to her going into the past, and then at the end.
Oh, okay, I got it.
You know, when she gets that package and stuff. So that was a little weak for me.
Combining the other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely, not to give it away, but there's definitely a little bit of
Continuity.
With not Man of Steel, but Batman versus Superman to be more specific. But yeah, that was kind of weak. I was hoping there's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, a little more meshing between those two films.
And they did a thing with the villain where there is a reveal, or some would say a twist, which the twist or reveal worked for me. But leading up to it, it like didn't give you enough to like really care about it. Like I was not expecting it, but I didn't care about it once they gave it to me.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. And, this was a long movie. I thought it actually wasn't a long movie. It was an hour 40, I think we saw. It did feel like a long movie. There are movies that don't feel like a long movie. There were parts where I was saying, "Okay, let's get this going." I don't need this part. So I felt like certain acts, especially the first one, after her like kind of origin story, really kind of dragged on a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was like we got into a scene and the transitions to the next thing were really like messy.
Yeah.
So like, we are in one scene and then we're all of a sudden we're in another thing, and it just was like it moved slow in certain parts and then super quickly when it needed to like catch up. So I could agree with that. Any other negatives?
Yeah, and it's hard for me, and I guess this is a kind of a good way to segue. We are going to start doing spoiler reviews on our podcast. We started a podcast maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
It had to do with news, but we've decided that we're going to do a spoiler one because it is hard. It's hard not to talk about spoilers. Yeah. So, but without spoiling anything, there was during the final act, there were two great scenes, and it was by Chris Pine, who's and Ares, who played Ares.
I cannot remember his name right now.
Okay, well I don't want to spoil who played.
Say who played Ares. Yeah.
Oh shit! Wait, is that a spoiler? God damn it, Marcus! You had one job. Yeah, everyone knew Ares was in there.
Ares.
Okay,
God of War. Yeah, that's in the trailers. You just don't know.
Yeah, okay, I got you. I was hoping. Okay, No harm, no foul. I almost cut this thing right now. I looked over and I was like, oh, God, we're going to have to cut it. But, okay, so the God of War and Chris Pine's character, whose name is escaping me right now. Steve Trevor. They have two great speeches that work off each other. And it has to do with mankind. And without giving anything away, the next to last scene pretty much makes everything they said that was great mean nothing.
Yeah.
It was like they didn't need to put that like one of those last scenes in there because it kind of unraveled at one point for me during the end.
Yeah.
And that's tough. When you unravel at the end, you can't recover sometimes. And I don't think it was able to recover from this. And it was kind of a big thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it didn't bother me as much, but I can't say why it didn't bother me because that's going to be on the spoiler review. But yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Also, some of the side characters, their little ragtag, the other people you see in the photo from Batman versus Superman in the picture, a little weak for me. There wasn't really
they were kind of
anything there.
They're very character.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Charactery? Is that a word?
You're here to fill this plot point right here. That's all you're here for. So
yeah,
it was
and I didn't care about them.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No. There's very few people I cared about in this film, and that's okay. I cared about the main characters.
Yep.
And
you care
I guess
about Wonder Woman. You care about Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
Go.
There it is.
I would definitely recommend this to anybody who is a fan of comic book movies or just a fan of good fun action. It's a perfect summer movie.
Yeah. Now where does it real quick? Where does it lie on your DCU? Okay. I know the answer, so I'm kind of putting you on a spot.
You're baiting me here, and I'm going to feel the wrath of the internet. But
Wonder.
I would probably rank this movie, just my personal opinion, I would rank it third in the DCEU. I think number one would be Man of Steel, which I think is 15 minutes away from being a masterpiece. Batman vs. Superman, which I absolutely loved, and then Wonder Woman. But it's not that I don't think Wonder Woman is good. I think Wonder Woman is really good.
You just really like those other films.
Something about them, they got me. They got their hooks in me.
I'm going to say that is by far the best movie in the DC universe.
I can't argue with people who. I mean, a lot of people don't like those other two.
Yeah,
movies, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, I thought the other ones were almost hard to watch at points. This was enjoyable. It had good jokes, but it was funny when it needed to be funny, and it was serious when it needed to be serious.
Yeah.
I think but with that said, I think it was a upper middle of comic book movies in general. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's The Dark Knight.
No.
I don't think it's Logan.
No. I think it's middle tier. When it comes to origin, if we're talking origin stories, I think it's middle upper pack. It's up there with the first Spider-Man. Just that sense of like a hero that's really inspiring, and that's something that has been missing from the DCEU. I know people expected to see that from Superman. But we definitely got it here with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for this review. What do you... we're going to give our final scores. What do you think out of 10?
I'm going to give it a 7.5. I was thinking between 7 and 7.5. By the way, that is fresh on the Rotten Tomatoes score. So if you have a problem with it, I'm right in line with a lot of those people that are giving it fresh scores. And I don't think that's a bad thing. 7.5 is a good grade.
Yeah.
How about you?
That's above failing. I'm gonna go right in lockstep with you. 7.5. I think it's. I honestly wasn't as excited for this movie as I was for the other DC movies, but I don't know if that played into my enjoyment of it because I had lowered expectations. But I came out really enjoying it.
And I kind of want to talk about one more thing. I know we kind of said we're going to end it, but and I forgot what I was going to talk about. No, is this film? Did it? How do I phrase it? Is it being elevated by the disappointment? Do you think of some of the early DC Universe films?
I mean, I can see that. I think it's a factor. Yeah, I think it could be a factor for a good number of people. you know, when you go into a movie, you want a good experience. You don't want to waste your money. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And this definitely, don't get me wrong, this definitely was not a waste of money.
No.
I would see it again in
Yeah.
theaters. And that's saying a lot. I don't see a lot of movies in theaters a lot. But I do think that the craze that's coming out from some people, you know, I've heard people say that this was the best comic book film of all time.
No, I wouldn't
and
say
people I respect say that.
that.
I'm not going to say their names because maybe, you know, well, we may make it. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. We might be on their show. We don't want to call them out now. We'll wait till on there.
But I think a lot, you know, there was a lot of things going for this before anyone even seen the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that you were coming off 2 divisive movies in your universe.
Yeah.
3, actually all 3. And it, you know, and it had, you know, it had the greatness of being the first woman superhero.
Yeah.
And I think,
well, besides Catwoman,
the first superhero. It was great, and it did it justice.
Yeah.
It did it was a great.
It did it Justice League.
Okay, but so I'm just trying to say that there was a lot of things that this movie had going in that was a positive, and it didn't disappoint.
Yeah. Nope. It definitely had high expectations, a high bar to set for women superhero films going
Yeah,
forward.
I'm excited to see other ones. I'm
Captain
excited.
Marvel,
Yeah.
Atomic Blonde's coming out in a couple weeks. That could be considered a superhero movie. So, I mean, Tomb Raider is coming out. Another Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
Of course, we have Star Wars with Daisy Ridley.
Yeah,
it's the year. It's the time of women, and we should all
and
rejoice.
which is great, because I mean I don't know about that Atomic.
The Atomic Blonde.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's for another show though.
So that's going to do it for this review. As always, you can find us on the various social media sites at Absolutely Under. You can follow me at The Great Rambino on Twitter and Instagram.
Marcus F. Nartatez on Instagram.
Make sure you look in the description and check out our podcast, Absolutely Under Scoop. We do movie news and spoiler reviews. So if you want to hear our unfiltered thoughts on this movie, definitely check us out there.
Now, if you're watching this during the first couple of days, we will not have that link down below. Angel does need to head on after this, so we can't do a full deep dive into it. So if you're watching it anytime, let's say after Monday, the release of this film, you should be seeing a link in there. If not, come back Monday. I'll get it in there.
Absolutely.
Understood.
And that's going to do it. In case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Thanks for watching.